season. He seems to really enjoy playing under you. What can you just, I guess, talk a bit about how his influence has grown this season in the team?
Yeah, look, I think I guess for a lot of the guys that kind of have stayed on, obviously we've taken a different approach, not just to the way we play, the way we train, and Pedro's really taken to it. He did, right from pre-season. You can tell by the way he plays. He's a guy who's got a lot of energy, and he's really, he's really passionate about his football, and he trains that way, and he plays that way. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think the way we train, really suits him. He enjoys that, and I think that's helped him with his football because he's kind of every day he's pushing himself for training, and the environment allows him to do that. And then, in the games themselves, he's becoming more and more of an influence in those, in areas maybe where I think he was always good in. I think you look at his, even before he came to Tottenham, his attacking stuff as a defender, as a wing back, has always been, high quality. So that's still there. It's probably, we're getting him into more central areas, which means he can have even a bigger influence rather than just wide areas. And he's worked really hard in the defensive game with Matty Wells, and I think he's enjoyed that as well. Like I said, it's just his general attitude, I think, to football and the way he wants to train. The environment we've got at the moment really suits him, and I think he's thriving in it.
A lot of people sort of wrote him off journalists as well after last season. He was had only been here for a few months. When you threw him in against Man United in the back four, there was a lot of trepidation because of how he come before. But I guess, are we too quick to write those off?
No, I just think sometimes it's not about being too quick. I think sometimes judgments are made without sort of understanding that with a lot of stuff that people make assessments on, you can only make assessments on what you see. So, if you're a journalist, when you see a performance, but I think it goes beyond that. Like I said, it depends on the environment, depends on what instructions players have, depends on how comfortable they feel in it. I mean, there's no doubt that Pedro's an outstanding player. I mean, he showed that before he came to Tottenham, but for a whole host of reasons, him and others struggled last year, not because of anyone purposefully doing it. It was just it was a tough environment for the club last year, and you've got to factor that into it. Now, at the same time, players also have to take that responsibility and hopefully learn from that and say, well, irrespective of the environment, my level of performance should be here, and I think Pedro's one that understood that. Like I said, from the first day of pre-season, I just got the sense he came back, not to a point to prove, but to show that, my level of performance can be a lot better than what it was last year. And so it's incumbent on every sort of player to kind of learn that, whatever the challenges you have in your environment, it doesn't restrict you from performing, at levels that, make you contribute, to the group. And, I think Pedro's one of those. There's a few in this group that, maybe last year people made a different assessment. Well, okay, that was probably because, like I said, it was a really sort of unstable environment for a number of reasons. And then this year they're doing a lot better, but the players themselves are key to turning that around. They have to realise, okay, well, I've got to do this myself as well. I've got to show that last year wasn't who I am.
Just finally, news broke yesterday. Tottenham's former owner, Joe Lewis, pleading guilty to insider trading. Have you been assured that this will have no bearing on Tottenham today?
No, I mean, that's about 7 galaxies outside my universe, mate. On what and that's the truth. Like, if I felt it was something that would, but I think the club put out a statement, and I think if that statement doesn't satisfy you, then probably I'm not the person to ask the follow-up questions to, because it's just not part of my radar. It wasn't something that is going to concern me or what I'm trying to do. And again, they're the kind of things where you can use as a distraction, but it's just not part of sort of what my brief is here and what I need to do.
In the little break, what did you get up to?
Yeah, not much. Sorry? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, not much. My family, as I said, were away, so they just got back. So just some quiet time at home. Still had work.
Can you give some insight? What do you like to do? Do you binge watch anything? Do you read?
No, work, mate. Work. There's still a lot to do. Like I kind of use those moments to kind of look a bit further down the road and see stuff that needs to do, because whilst the coalface of it is games to prepare for, games to win, results, there's some longer term stuff that I'm still keen to build within the football club. So you kind of start mapping out those things and seeing whether we can make an impact now with that, or a bit later, or when we are going to make an impact, because it all sort of helps you to get to where you want to. So I didn't feel like, it would be nice to get away, don't get me wrong, but even if I got away, I'd still be kind of thinking along those lines.
You're not going to give me anything outside football, just with a bit of time that you don't normally have?
I'm fairly mundane and one-dimensional when it comes to that. I'm a human being, mate. I watch things, and I love reading, and I'll listen to, as you know, podcasts, and listen to some music, spend time with my family. It's not anything too exotic or exciting, but within that context, it's. I still feel like, for me, I take what I do really, really seriously, and I don't, I feel like sometimes if I do switch off for too long, I'm kind of missing something. It's just the way I'm kind of wired. So, but if I'm ever sort of, my wife will straighten me up if I'm ever too engrossed in it and I need to step away from it, and she'll make sure that I have some time to switch off.
Is Maddison similar to you in that total immersion?
In nothing, in absolutely zero. Matters has got zero semblance his life to mine. Absolutely none. No.
Okay, I was going to ask you specifically about
Yeah.
how he's coped
Yeah,
with this on a psychological level,
Yeah.
the longest absence of his injury of his career.
Yeah. It
He
was-
such a positive guy.
Yeah.
So was he quite low? And
Not low, but it was tough for him. Yeah, fair to say it was tough for him, because, like I said, he is, he does love his football. He loves the environment of football clubs. He loves the dressing room. He's kind of a force within that, and it's hard for all players when they've got to go through rehab. But especially a character like him, I'd suggest our sports science staff wouldn't enjoy the one-on-one with Matters. He's more of a guy who wants to be in the group. So, we did sort of send him away in the middle of it. We felt it was good for him to get away with his family. We sent a physio with him, and I think that helped sort of bridge that time. And when he got back from that, I think, he was refreshed. And once he could see the sort of finish line of, okay, I'm getting to the tail end of it, you could see, his spirits lift. And it's been good to get him back.
we saw him hit the ground running, so impressively when he first signed.
Mm.
And I suppose we've seen De Bruyne come back for City, and he's
Yeah.
like he's never been away. What's your sort of sense about Maddison?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't want to sort of put those kind of expectations, but I know what Matters expects, and looking at him at training, you wouldn't know that he's missed so much. He's, the quality is there straight away. Everyone notices it, and he's looking good physically. So, I'm sure that he's the kind of guy who will want to make up for lost time and come back in and make an impact straight away.
And can I take you back to the old chestnut of trophies?
Yeah.
We know how important trophies are to you.
Mm.
You know how important trophies are to this club, and particularly their FA Cup tradition and history. Just what would it mean to, go beyond tomorrow night, to kind of get that cup fever, to get that cup buzz, to keep this season really pumping?
Yeah, look, I think, obviously, it's very important, not because of any other reason, but what it would mean to our supporters. They're the ones that, we as in managers and players, we come and go. Even the great ones at some point finish, but the supporters are always there, and they've had to sit through year after year of not winning a trophy. watching other clubs win trophies. So you know what it means. But I've said before that can't sort of charter my course of what I want to build here. I want to build a team that brings success and challenges for trophies every year. Because whilst one trophy will satisfy that thirst, which I understand, if in the following year we struggle and fall back to mediocrity, it's going to quickly get forgotten. This is not what this club's about. And, my goal when I was brought in was to take this club to be a club that competes for honours every year, and that's what I'm focused on. Tomorrow night is part of that process, obviously, but I'm under no illusions of what bringing a trophy to this club means to supporters. I understand that, but my sort of objective within that is to give them that joy on a regular basis, not just as a one-off.
The fans love you, like, you can see that from the way they react in the stadium. But when you see them in the street, and basically they come up to you, do you get that sense of understanding as well?
Yeah.
They always want, a bit of silverware to
Yeah, no, everyone's been very kind to me and like really supportive, and they can see what I'm trying to do. But they also don't leave me guessing about what the objective is. So that's fine. I mean, that's what you want. You want passionate supporters, and like I said, it's right that our supporters feel that way, but I can't let that dictate what I do. I know what I need to do to take this football club to where it needs to be, and it's not going to come from, like I said, the joy of a one-off. I know that, it'd probably be good for me if it happens, it'd be great for me, but it's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in taking this club to a level where it has success on a regular basis.
You mentioned how you're looking forward to this game to measure also the progress you guys have made. You guys have made a lot of progress from the beginning of the season. Which is the one you're most proud of?
I think the way the players have really embraced who we want to be as a team, even with the challenges we've had, because we obviously again, it's not about the injuries, but it's about how we approached as a group, tackling that challenge, and then how you tackle the challenge of losing 3-4 games in a row. What's our attitude like? What's our body language like? What's our belief like? And through that, I've really loved that this group of players, and the staff, to be fair, have just never wavered from saying, and demanding of me that we continue like this. We don't change, because irrespective of what happens ahead, there's going to be more challenges. There'll be different challenges, but more challenges. And we've already gone through this period and shown that if we stick to what we believe in, we can come out stronger. Well, that's the thing, because I think in terms of the football and in terms of everything we do, there's still a long way to go, and we've got a lot of improvement. We've got a lot of young players who are just in the sort of beginnings of their careers. But that sort of attitude they've shown and commitment and belief, more importantly, in what we're trying to do has been the most pleasing thing for me.
You have built before in your career winning things, nothing even different.
Yeah.
Experiences. How much do you think is going to be different here?
They're all different. They're all, unique. They're all different challenges. But like I said, through that, there's always some consistent things that I see that if you put in, it gives you a chance. It doesn't guarantee it, but it gives you a chance, and that's what I'm trying to instill here. And I think it doesn't matter where you are, and that's not just synonymous with where I've been, but you look at all the successful teams, there are certain characteristics within those, aside from quality, aside from anything else, that those teams have. And they seem simple from the outside, but once you're in, sometimes they're the most difficult things to achieve, to understand how important a team first ethos is, how important it is that you get people with different personalities, different characters all to believe in one thing, how you change an environment, how do you change behaviour, and these are irrespective of the quality, but all across all sports, all champion teams have these things. So that's what you're trying to instill. But like I said, it's not always easy, and they're always different how you get to that end point. So this is different from what I had to do at Celtic or Yokohama or in Australia, but the principles of it are the same.
Okay, Gary.
Just one, you said to David that you sent Madders away. Where did you send him? And what was that?
No, just to Dubai, mate. Nowhere sort of.
So that's just a holiday or something, just to basically get...
No, I guess that was the point of what I was saying. It wasn't a holiday. It was like we sent do you go holidays with your physio? No. Or a sports... Yeah. No, it was pretty much just to replicate here. You're having a crack at each other now. That's good. I love this. It was just to get him away from this environment, but doing exactly what he'd do here, but in a different environment. And he went away with his family, so it kind of just helped him sort of do what he was supposed to be doing here in a different environment. We did that with Romero. Gio's doing the same thing, because again, for players to just come in on a sort of daily basis in here, watch the guys training and not be part of it, it's not easy, and